If you think these are dark, just wait until we get to the animated shorts. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. Today we're going to be continuing to focus on Oscar-related content. Best Picture gets all the attention and glory, but we're going to be talking about some of the lesser known and underappreciated categories, the short films. With theaters reopened, I got to do my annual Oscar insanity trip and drive several hours to my nearest indie theater to watch shorts for nearly 8 hours straight. I know that not everybody can get out to see these, so I'm hoping that this 3-part Rankography series is able to help you out and get you prepared for the Oscar ceremony. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, ranked lists, and trailer reactions. I've already talked about the documentary shorts, so that brings us to our second category, the live-action shorts. This category is usually the second most popular of the shorts, and is often shown as a double feature along with the animated shorts, so hopefully some of you have had the opportunity to watch these. The 5 nominees are Alukachu, The Dress, The Long Goodbye, On My Mind, and Please Hold. Since this is a rankography, I'm going to be ranking these shorts, but remember, this is just my ranking, not the ranking, so be sure to post your own personal ranking of the 2022 live-action short film Oscar nominees in the comments below. Coming in at number 5, The Dress. This is a Polish submission and was directed by Tadeusz Lisiak. This short tells the story of a lonely maid who has a moment with a truck driver and hopes to form a deeper connection with him. Although I didn't dislike this short, I definitely found it to be the weakest of the bunch, which is a shame because it's the one with the second most fleshed out story and world of the set. And I think it starts off fairly well, showing us the monotony of Yulka's daily routine and her longing for human connection. We see the adversity and cruelty that she faces due to her disability, so we're placed in the darkness of her mindset right away. And I can see what the film is trying to do with its themes and story. I just don't think it was able to stick the landing. By taking the turns that it does towards the end, it feels needlessly cruel and counter to its intended message, which makes for a disappointing watch. Coming in at number 4, The Long Goodbye. This is a UK submission and was directed by Anil Karia. This film focuses on a family making preparations for a wedding, only to have their day and lives upended by a racist attack. Of all the live-action shorts this year, I think this one is most blatantly a message movie. That in itself is not a bad thing, and in fact might give this film a slight leg up when it comes to winning the category. Its themes of racism and Islamophobia are obvious and hard-hitting, but the delivery is a little strange. This short is very much a film of 3 parts. It begins as a slice-of-life family story, but suddenly shifts to something much darker and more intense. And if that's where the short had ended, it probably would have been another spot or 2 higher in the ranking for me. Unfortunately, it has this 3rd part, which deviates from the narrative structure of the film, and features Riz Ahmed breaking the 4th wall to deliver a semi-rapping monologue straight to the camera. It seemed strange in the theater, but apparently this short was released alongside Ahmed's concept album of the same name, so it's kind of like a music video tie-in, which just makes it all the more unusual. Coming in at number 3, Alukachu, Take and Run. This is a Swiss submission set in Kyrgyzstan and was directed by Maria Brendel. It tells the story of Sezim, a teenage girl from a rural village who dreams of going to college, only to find herself the victim of bride kidnapping. This film shows the struggle between tradition and freedom and brings attention to the real practice of bride kidnapping, which is illegal but common in Kyrgyzstan. This film is well made, but I gotta say, the subject is quite frustrating. I guess I should rephrase that and say that the subject, the practice of Alukachu, is infuriating and disgusting, but watching the events of this film unfold is a very frustrating experience. Because we see this teenager who has these big dreams, and a way to make these dreams a reality, get forced into an awful situation completely by chance. And it's angering and sad watching the struggles she has to endure. But it's so frustrating to see the stranglehold that tradition has on everybody, including Sezim herself. That's obviously one of the main takeaways from the film, but it does make for a frustrating watch. That said, I do think this is a story that would actually make a better feature film than a short, because there's a lot going on here, and a lot of character moments that would benefit from expansion. Coming in at number 2, On My Mind. This is a Danish submission and was directed by Martin Strange Hansen. This short focuses on a mysterious man who goes to a bar on a weekday morning and insists on singing Elvis Presley's Always on My Mind on the karaoke machine. So I had to keep that description pretty vague so as not to spoil anything, but this short was good. It's one that starts off with very little information. The main character and his issue are both pretty mysterious at the beginning, and you start to get hints of what's going on, but the full extent of the story isn't revealed until close to the end. And I gotta say, this one hits hard emotionally. Of the 5 nominees, this probably has the most simple story, and it's the only one without some intended underlying message of awareness. So it doesn't have that big thematic heft behind it that many of the others do, but for me, this was actually the most affecting of the live-action shorts. It was the first one that they showed during the set of 5, which was probably a good thing, because it gave me and the 3 other people in the theater time to get our sniffling under control. So that means my number 1 Oscar live-action short of 2022 is Please Hold. This is a US submission and was directed by K.D. Davila. Set in the near future, it focuses on a world in which automation has become the norm for all aspects of life, including the justice system. After a young man is arrested for no apparent reason, he must navigate this entirely automated legal system in order to find out what he's been accused of and try to clear his name. Even though this is a film that touches on serious topics, like the complexity of the legal system, and also functions as a cautionary tale about the disconnect that results from our reliance on technology, this was easily the lightest and funniest of the 5 nominees. I wouldn't say that this is a comedy, but it features a unique brand of situational humor that I found very entertaining, but also effective in getting across the film's messages. It takes a sci-fi, futuristic concept, but grounds it in a way that's recognizable, so it feels like something that could be feasible in the future. I really liked the world building of this one, and I thought it was a very creative and clever story. Maybe it's because it came right on the heels of the emotional On My Mind, but the people in my theater were laughing throughout this one. And like I said, I also found it amusing. It's kind of got that sad, ironic humor rather than ha-ha comedy, so it might not be as funny to everyone, but I thought it worked for the story and provided a nice balance of entertainment and message. Alright, so that's my rankography of the 2022 Oscar nominees for live-action short film. Have you had a chance to see these live-action shorts? If so, what does your ranking look like? I'd love to see some reasoning for your order, so be sure to post it in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out my rankography of the documentary shorts, and stop back next week for the animated shorts rankography and some more Oscar-related content. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this rankography, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe if you're at it to see more rankographies like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.